Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking all about manifesting techniques. I'm talking scripting, visualization, living as if, and getting into the right mindset. But before we get started on all of that, I just want to remind everyone to subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and turn your bell notifications on because YouTube is being kind of weird and not really showing my videos to my subscribers, so make sure that you have your bell notifications on. Okay, so let's get started. So a while back I did a video all about the law of attraction and how to manifest anything and everything that you want in your life. And that video is kind of like a good starting point if you're not really familiar with manifesting and the law of attraction. But today we are going to be talking about the actual techniques that you can do, the actual methods, like some actionable tips that you can start doing every day because you're like, okay, I want to manifest this certain thing. Okay, so what do I do now? Like, what are some things that can help me achieve that? Before we get started, I just want to say that there is not a right and wrong way of manifesting. So if none of these techniques kind of like stick with you or like work for you, just like you have to do whatever feels right to you, right? So there is not a right and wrong way, and if someone tells you that there is, they're wrong, right? You can do basically whatever you want to do because at the end of the day, it's up to you. Like, that's the whole concept. It's up to you. You're creating your own reality. You're creating your own experience in this life. So it's up to you how you want to create it and what you want to create, right? So everything is up to you. I'm gonna share some techniques that I have heard and that I have tried and that have worked for me so that you can try them as well. But at the end of the day, if you want to change something or do something different, that is totally up to you. And as long as it feels right and good to you, like, that's what you need to do. You shouldn't force things. You shouldn't do things because they're the right way to do them, even if you like don't really feel in tune with them. Does that make sense? Okay. So now that whole thing is out of the way, let's get started on the techniques. So the first technique that I kind of, mentioned in my first law of attraction video is scripting. Because scripting is the thing that has worked for me the most. I believe it's my most used technique to this day. And basically what scripting is writing down your wishes, basically. So there are a couple things that you can do that can kind of, improve your chances or, get you in the right mindset. So when I script, I tend to write in the present tense. And the way that I like to structure my scripting is that first I get started with all the things that I already have and that I'm grateful for, right? So getting myself into that kind of thankfulness and gratefulness mindset and just focusing on the things that I really have, like right now, that are great, things that I'm grateful for and that I would not want to lose, right? And everyone has those things. You can start with your family, your loved ones, like the place that you live in, the food on your table. There are like so many things to be grateful for. Like, you can literally write for hours and hours about all the things that you're grateful for, and like you will still not be able to list all of them. So, that's really not a big deal. Just like really focus on all the things that you have in your life and how it would be like not to have them, so like be thankful for them. So once I start writing about the things that I actually have in my life, I usually do like a 1 page. So like it takes kind of like a half of the page that I have. I'm like, I'm grateful for this, I'm thankful for this, thank you so much for this, and I like list some of the things that have happened to me or things that I have that I'm super grateful for. And then kind of like the second part of the page is kind of where I get into my manifesting. And so I also write kind of things in present tense, it's like I already have them, but I don't really, right? So this is where the manifesting comes in. So I kind of like blend in the things that I have and the things that I wish to have, kind of in the same category of like having them, right? So I just like write the first paragraph about all the things that I'm thankful for, and then like the second paragraph of all the things that I want to manifest, and I'm writing it as if I already have them and I'm thankful for them, right? And I focus on the emotions that I would feel when I get these things, right? And it's kind of different for whatever you want to manifest. So that's like one thing that I do. And the second way to do scripting is kind of like writing out like a script for your day or your life or your month or like whatever you want to do. So I have used this for several things, and it's scary how accurate they turn out to be. So what I am gonna do, if I know that I have an important day, right, and I have a day that I want it to go a certain way, right? I need to pass an exam, or, you know, I have a job interview, like whatever, you know, whatever it is, like this day, I need something like to go the way that I want it to. So this is when I would write in my journal as a diary entry, right? Like I'm describing my day, like it has already passed, like it has already happened, and I'm just like writing it down in my diary, right? And I would, you know, describe the day exactly how I want it to go. So I would start with, you know, I woke up at this time, I felt like this, I did this, I ate this, you know, as many details as you can include to make it realistic for yourself is what you need to do. Like I'm not really detailed, but I also put in some little details in there, just so that it can help me kind of visualize how my day is actually going. So I will write everything down, and then when I get to the part that I want to manifest, for example, then I go to my interview and like everything goes great. You know, it's amazing. I feel great afterwards. I feel great during. Everything happens like, you know, the way that I wanted to. I'm so happy. I'm so grateful that everything happened, you know, just the way that I wanted to. And these turn out to be so accurate that it's scary. Like sometimes I will write a day out and then, you know, I will forget about it, and, you know, a couple days later when it actually happens, I will completely forget like the details that I wrote down. And then I go back and I read the things that I wrote, and it's like so specific, like some like weird things that I wrote down, like I ate this for lunch, you know, for like whatever reason, I don't know. And then it actually turns out to be that way, right? And the most important thing, the thing that I wanted to manifest, like also happens, right? And I'm like, oh my God, the day that I actually wrote down that it would happen, it actually did, to like some weird detail that I also included to kind of, you know, get more realistic about it and just like get the full experience. Everything happened as I wrote it down. So that is a really powerful thing if you have like a specific day that you want to go a certain way. Like write it down as if it has already happened and as if you have already gotten whatever it is that you wanted to happen in that day, right? Or like you go on a date and you write down like, oh, I went on this date, it was so amazing, I felt so good, blah blah blah, right? You write everything down as a diary entry, right? As you would write in your diary, like after the things have happened. Okay, so the last and third kind of scripting method that I want to briefly share is the 369 method that, you know, has been going around recently. It's or called the Nikola Tesla method, because he was really big into the 3, 6, and 9 numbers. If you want to research like why the numbers 3, 6, and 9 are like super important, you can watch some videos about it. explaining the math, explaining like the reasoning, explaining like what Nikola Tesla said about it, like why he was so obsessed with these numbers, how like it helped him like create the things that he wanted to create. So yeah, if you want to go into that and like find the reasoning behind this, it's actually super helpful because you will know like why this works. But the actual method behind it is that you sit down and you write in the morning. I think this is how people say it. So in the morning you write 3 times a sentence, right, on a piece of paper of like what you want to manifest. For example, I want a new phone, right? That's, basic, but whatever. So you write it down, you say like, I want a new phone, I want a new phone, I want a new phone, right? Or like something along those lines, or like, I got a new phone, I got the phone that I wanted, right? Whatever feels right to you, and you write it down 3 times. Then in the afternoon, you write kind of another sentence also around you having your new phone, 6 times, right? And this time like more elaborate, like I am so happy that I got my new phone because of X, Y, Z reasons, right? You write down your reasons, you write down your feelings 6 times, right? And then in the evening, you sit down and you write another sentence also around your phone. You're being like, okay, I'm so grateful that I have my new phone. This is exactly what I needed to. I feel like so good, right? You describe the feeling, you express thankfulness, and you write it down 9 times, right? So you have 3 times, 6 times, then 9 times of repeating that same thing. And like I said, people advise to do it in the morning, afternoon, and then evening. But I have never done it that way because I'm too lazy and I forget, and I want things to be done as quickly as possible. So what I would do, I would sit down and like in one sitting do all of those things, right? In one sitting, I would do like the 3 sentences, 6 sentences, and then 9 sentences all in one go, and then I would, be done with it. So that is another method that has also worked for me. And I think it was something like really, really small and really specific that I wanted to manifest. And I didn't really want to write a whole script around it. I didn't like feel like, writing things down or like, it wasn't like that. It wasn't that big. It was actually like a smaller thing. So I used this method to kind of try it out. And it actually happened so fast. Like faster than any of my other methods. Like I was like, at first I was even skeptical. I was like, what is this? Why am I writing this sentence 9 times? Oh my God, what is this? I was a bit skeptical. I was skeptical about all of this, to be honest, in the beginning. But then it worked. And I was like, what? And it worked so fast. I was fascinated. I was like, okay, people might actually be onto something here. Like, wow, this actually works, right? So that is the final kind of like scripting, writing down method that I have for you. And now let's move on to my favorite method, that is visualization. So visualization is, kind of the core of everything, and all the techniques that you use, it's basically to get you into the right mindset and to get you to visualize the future that you want for yourself. So that's why visualization, I feel, is like the most important thing. So everyone kind of like does this differently, but the way that I like to do it is I sit down kind of like in a meditation spot, or I put on some meditation music or like something like that to kind of, and I sit it down, I close my eyes, I'm like really quiet, I empty my mind of everything, and then I focus on the things that I want to manifest, right? And you get really inside of your head and you focus on how it would be, how you would feel like if those things happened, right? And if you really get like into that, if you really get into kind of that daydream or like that really specific kind of mindset that you can like really feel, you can really imagine how it would feel, the thing that you want to manifest, like it is really powerful. Like I have gotten to tears. Like I would sit down, I would imagine, and I would be so happy of the thing that I'm imagining that, tears will start rolling from my eyes just from, imagining the thing and really like living it out in my head. So this is like really powerful. I feel like this will get your vibrations like the highest and like the closest to the thing that you want to manifest. Visualization is kind of like the most powerful thing. And like I said, this is how I do it, but everyone does it differently. Another tip about it is to do it either early in the morning or late in the evening, right? So right after you get out of bed, you're kind of sleepy, you're kind of in that like dream world, kind of like half asleep, half awake. This is when your kind of visualization, your imagination is at its highest, right? So you can really imagine and feel these things, right? So either super early in the morning or like late in the evening when you're kind of like sleepy, you want to go to bed, right? You think about your dreams and like stuff like that, you're getting kind of like sleepy. That's the time that you want, to visualize the things that you want to happen, right? So like be really thoughtful about the things that you have in those moments, because that's, when your imagination and visualization is at its highest and you can really like manifest at light speed, and like, that's when you're the most powerful as a creator in those moments. So use them to your advantage every morning and every night, or like, somewhere in between. Sometimes I just like sit down to meditate in the middle of the day. It doesn't have to be like, like I said, whatever works for you, whatever works for you. And just really try to, feel the things that you would feel if this thing has happened, right? That's the most important thing. And to kind of visually see it in your mind, like playing out as you want it to play out, right? So that's another important thing. Okay, so the third and, the hardest, I feel like, technique that I have for you today is called living as if. So living as if basically means that you live your life as if everything that you want to happen to you, everything that you desire has already happened, right? And you are currently living that life. Basically, this means that you have to live your life as if, you already have everything that you want to have. You kind of have to focus on the things that you have and like be grateful for them and treat them as if they are the things that you want in your life, right? So that's why this is kind of difficult, because sometimes you're like, no, my situation sucks and I cannot pretend that I like it, and that's not what I'm asking to do, because that's, that's not real. Those are not real emotions, and it's not gonna get you anywhere. Practicing that thankfulness in your everyday life, in that specific area, right? So if you want to manifest a new house, for example, a new place to live, you living in another town, if you want to move out, like whatever, you kind of have to start getting in that mindset that you will have once, you do that, once you get that thing, right? So like imagine like what you would do like in that day, how you would feel. Like, oh, I would wake up, I would be so excited. Okay, so wake up excited every day, right? I would go out and, have fun. Okay, start doing that right now. Don't wait for certain things to happen so that you can feel the emotions that you think that you're gonna feel, okay? You kind of have to feel the emotions first, and then you're gonna get the thing, right? And that's why it's so kind of like tricky, and I mean, it's not, it makes a perfect sense, but to me, this is the hardest thing to do because sometimes I'm like, no, this sucks and I cannot pretend that it doesn't, and it's just, I can't do this. So it's really difficult for me, but if you can really do that, and if you can really practice it in your, day-to-day life, I feel like it's gonna help a lot. And like I said, I haven't been able to do it so much, because of who am I as a person. I wasn't really able to do that completely. But, every little bit matters. For example, if you want to move somewhere. So when I wanted to move, I was like, oh, when I live there, I'm gonna go out every day. I'm gonna sit by myself in a coffee shop, with my laptop and with my books, and I'm gonna study there, and I'm gonna drink my coffee, and that's kind of the thing that I imagined of doing. And then I was like, you can do that here. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, maybe it's not gonna feel like exactly the same thing, but like, you can do this now, and you can feel that feeling now, and it's gonna get you closer to, the real thing. So, think about things that you want to manifest, and think about, the life and the emotions that you will feel when that happens, and think how you can incorporate some of those things into your life right now. And I know that sometimes, and for some things, this can't work, like I said, but if it can, if you can do that, I think that it's gonna be super powerful. Okay, so that was all that I have for you today about manifesting techniques. Thank you so much for watching the video all the way through. Give me a like if you liked it, and leave a comment down below to let me know what you want me to film next. Like, if you have any questions that I can answer, anything, any problems, whatever. They don't have to be problems. You can just be grateful for things. Write them down in the comments down below. I respond to all the comments, and I also take suggestions from there, so hit me up. Okay, so thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Okay, bye.
Just think about it right now. Everything's okay. No matter where you find yourself, no matter what kind of stuff is going on in your life, underneath it all, everything's actually all right.